Welcome to Choices with Jeanette. I'm Jeanette Harris, and thank you all so much for watching Choices with Jeanette. I am here in the beautiful home of Jimmy Wynn and with my sister. She's not my friend, she's my sister, Marie Wynn. She said she'd be my sister since my other sisters decided to go to heaven. So she's my sister, and I love her so much. And I love Jimmy Wynn as well. Jimmy, thank you for allowing me to come to your home.
It's always a pleasure, Jeanette, to see you.
Jimmy, you know what? A lot of people don't know, but you're quite a little prankster.
Um, no, I'm not. I say corny words sometimes, corny phrases sometimes, and sometimes I might come out with something to make people laugh or make
Yeah.
them happy, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'm that.
Oh yeah, you're a funny man. You really are. And we want to thank you here in Houston for being so approachable. You're one of the few people that has reached the status that you've reached, and you're still approachable.
Well, thank you. I've been that way all my life, mainly because of two people. And I think you know who they are.
Your
God
mother.
and my mother and my father. They always taught me to be myself, to listen and understand, and I've been doing that now for a very long time, and I will not stop.
I was talking to you earlier, and I have never seen anyone with so much favor on their life.
Well, favor is what you make of it, and if you are a decent person, favors will always come to you. Of course, I had favor when I was born. God put me in my mother's womb. My God knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. And my father was a baseball player. He was a manager. He's a coach. And God put me right there. And this is what I wanted to be when I grew up, when I went to high school, college. And lo and behold, God fulfilled my blessings.
Was your father a player as well?
He was a player, although he was not, well, he was good, very good. But he did not get an opportunity to play in the major leagues or in the Negro League, but he was a man that everybody respected.
Hmm. We're going to go back to the interview with you, but you mentioned just then the Negro League. What did you know about the Negro League?
Just certain people, certain
Like
ball
who?
players. I knew Jackie Robinson. I knew Mudcat Grant. One other guy that I knew, his name does not come to me as we speaking, but he was the type of man that when you listen to him.
Oh,
When
wow.
he spoke, you listen. And he came to Houston quite a few times during my golf tournament that was sponsored by Waste Management. And he had everybody, I mean everybody listening to his stories
Wow.
about how much money they made, the transportation on the railroads, trains that he had to take, and the hamburgers that they were eating all the time because of the meal money. And you listen to these things and you grow up. And if you don't understand where these guys are coming from, boy, you're in trouble.
Mm. So when your father was a coach, who was he coaching?
He's coaching everybody. He was coaching me as a ball player. He was coaching the team that he played, that he coached for. We call ourselves the Eagles back in those days because you know Eagles kind of like correspond with God and the things that He did. And we had quite a few. We had a great ball club, a great bunch of guys that loved the game and they're very coachable.
Wow. So let's go back. You're from
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Ohio. Tell me a little bit about that town and tell me where you lived in proximity to the baseball players that you would see.
Oh, I lived, first of all, I lived in kind of like the projects or something that we called back in those days, Clark Street. The one home that I loved very much was where my parents, I bought them a home on Jonathan Avenue, and right around the corner was my uncle and his wife stayed there, my Aunt Mildred. And the house that I really loved was on Coleraine Avenue, which is right around the corner from Old Crossley Field. And every day I used to leave school, go down to Crossley Field, catch baseballs and sell them. And that's where I got my meal money and the pocket full of money to do the things I wanted to do. But Crosby Field was, like I said, adjacent to where my parents lived. And down the street, all the ball players used to come to that street in order to get to the ballpark, which is Coleraine Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a lot of ball players there. I met Frankie Robinson, Vader Pinson, Wally Post, Bob Thurman, all the guys, Big Ted Glazewski, all the guys used to come down that street in order to get to the ball club, ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, Frankie Robinson and Vader Pinson was riding towards the ballpark, stopped, and they just said hello. And Frankie wanted to go into the house just to say hello to my parents. And little did I know that Frankie asked my father, could he take me down to the ballpark and introduce me to all the ball players. Dad says, yes, go ahead.
Favor.
Favor, a big favor. And I went down there and met all the ball players. And boy, I tell you, Frankie Robinson gave me his glove.
Gave you the glove? Do you still have it?
I wish I did. I don't know what happened to it.
Wow.
And all those things were just came true. The school that I went to was Robert A. Taft Senior High School. My athletic director was a scout, and he was a scout for Cincinnati. And little did I know that upon graduation, I had a tryout with the Cincinnati Reds.
Mm-hmm.
Favor.
Wow.
And I did everything that I was taught to do. Hit the ball out of the ballpark, catch the ball playing shortstop, throw the ball to first base on the line. And one thing that really made me stand out was Jerry Lynch, who was for the Cincinnati Reds. And he told the general manager, sign this kid now. Don't let him get out of Cincinnati.
Sign him now.
Right now, right now, right now. So they sent this scout up to my family's house. And the scout wanted to sign me right then and there. And my mother says, no.
No.
And when she said no, no was no.
No, it overruled.
Overruled everything.
So I mean, this had to. What did your dad say?
My dad just stood there, sit there, and didn't say a word. And I'm looking at him like, Dad, help me, help me.
And
Dad
he
didn't
said,
say a
I'm
word.
not sleeping on the couch. I'm not arguing with your mama later.
That's right.
I'm going to live with your mama, and you going to be all right.
That's right. And my mother told the scout who wanted to sign him, says, if you want to sign him now, you can wait 2 years. And the scout said, yes, ma'am, I can wait, and I will wait. 2 years of college, mother called me, son, come on down to home, scout's here, let's sign your contract. Favor.
Again.
Again.
If I make him wait for 2 years, he will not lose what?
He would not lose anything. All he would gain is an education, which my mother wanted me to get. Mm-hmm. I did. And you know, my mother was a wise mother. She was not what we call a Christian. She didn't go to church, but she did say her prayers every morning, like she did when we were growing up. Mm-hmm. But my mother went with my father every Sunday. Wherever my father played, my mother was right there, and I was with my mother. Wow. So I mean, everything worked out fine, beautiful, favor. Again.
Your mother was a wise woman.
She was a wise woman. I loved her. The only thing that I didn't like that, I guess it's life. My mother passed away before she met Marie, and my dad did the same thing. I wish my mother and dad were living right now, so both of them would have met Marie.
Wow, why?
Because they would have loved her as I do.
Yeah, we do love Marie, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
So, okay, come on. Take me from Cincinnati, because you didn't stay there.
No, I signed my contract right out of college. Mm-hmm. And went to Tampa, Florida, And they always told me that when you go to spring training with a minor league club, if you get 3 numbers, which I had, 1 something at 135, 137, that they will not look at you. They will not tell you anything. You're on your own. And I knew that I was good. I knew I was good. I knew I was going to make it. The first cut was the guys and had the three numbers. And they came and told me, says, you're going to Tampa, Florida. So here's your new uniform, Favor.
Favor again.
Again.
I'm telling you.
And when I got the uniform, and you know, I had a big fight, not among ball players, but among coaches, the managers. I had 2 great managers. One was Herschel Freeman, and the other one was Johnny Vandermeer.
Okay.
Both of them wanted me. Herschel Freeman was coaching up in New York. Vandermeer was down in Tampa, Florida. So who won out? Both of them did, because both of them started going from New York to Florida, and I played in Florida.
Wow. How did you like it, and what happened in Florida?
I love Florida, really. I mean, the only thing that I wanted to do was play baseball. I don't care where it was. I played baseball. That's all I wanted to do.
So
play
about
baseball.
what age were you then?
Ooh, I was a young kid then. I think I was about 20, 21, something like that. Might have been a little younger. But the good thing about it was that I had a good year. I led the league in home runs, RBIs, made the All-Star team, and did everything. And then when I came back to play winter ball in Tampa, Florida with Cincinnati, I was drafted by the Houston franchise in the year of 1962.
1962. 1962.
Excuse me, 1960.
1960.
1962. You're writing down everything, aren't you? In 1962, that's when Houston and New York came into existence as a major league ball club.
And was Hallfines with them then?
Hallfines was a leader of getting Major League Baseball in Houston. He was a very young man, and he was instrumental in getting the Houston franchise here in Houston, along with 2 other gentlemen, Bob R.E. Smith, and oh my God, what's the other gentleman's name?
You're doing good to remember these names.
Yeah.
So who were the Hallfines?
Hallfines were very influential back in those days.
They were very rich.
Very rich and very well connected, and he was the man to be reckoned with.
I remember them paying $1 a year to rent the Astrodome. I remember something like that.
Well, then you know more than I do.
I'm telling you, the Hallfines dynasty, I'm calling it a dynasty, the Hallfines dynasty was huge.
Yes, it was. He was the first person who ever thought about building a dome stadium so the ball club can play indoors. As you know, baseball was meant to play outdoors, not indoors. And I felt that back in those days that if Houston didn't have an indoor stadium, baseball would never survive because of the heat and the humidity. It's too hot.
It's too hot.
So when he had Dome Stadium built and called it the 8th wonder of the world, it was.
The 8th wonder.
Wonder of the world. And it still is.
Wow.
There was a large group of people as we went to fund the bonds to build this building that said it can never be done.
So everything that the engineers and the architects did, as it stands, was new. You know, they didn't have any model to follow. There was no place to go look and see how somebody else did it.
People said, no, you can't play baseball inside. You can't play sports inside. And they said, yeah, we can.
It was mind-boggling just to look up there and says, finally, this is the place to play. This is the Astrodome. This is the 8th wonder of the world.
It's a home run. goosebumps just to walk in there and look at it. Everything in it was perfect.
He's gone! He's gone!
It was truly a wonder of the world at that time, and we didn't realize, I guess, how fortunate we were to have access to it.
He got it! Nolan Ryan! No-hitter number 5.
I remember it very well. Everyone was amazed at the growth and the success of the Astrodome.
It was all-purpose entertainment, family-friendly. You just about name it. I think we just about had it here.
You had the alley fights here. You had the basketball championships. Anything that they could bring in here to promote this building, they were going to do.
And pandemonium at the Astrodome.
This place brought more women into the game. They dressed to the nines. They dressed up as they would be going either to church, to a cocktail party, to a wedding.
We had the first scoreboard that was animated. We had the first skyboxes. We had the first artificial turf.
After this, dome stadiums were built all over the place. This was the pioneer.
People came from all over the world just to see this spaceship that had landed in the middle of the Texas prairie. We take it for granted now. There have been so many that were spin-offs from this that people forget to remember that this really was the original.
The astronauts had given Houston a lot of fame. I don't think that did as much for the image of Houston worldwide as this building. I think that's the legacy, is what it made Houston become. I mean, it put the focus of the world on us.
It's the greatest sports facility or entertainment facility that anyone has ever conceived.
People are kind of, talking about destroying and everything else, and it's hard to see that. It makes you realize your own mortality. It's something that goes with the history and the identity of the state of Texas, along with the Alamo.
Wynn swings and drives deep into left field. Look at this one go, everybody!
It hasn't changed a great deal, but it's dying out.
If you listen real close, you can still hear them.
Wow. Okay, so you're in Houston. You accepted coming to Houston, so you're here.
I'm here. I love Houston. I love the people. The people were friendly, not only because I was a ball player, but they were friendly because of who I was. And I love that. And I stayed. And plus, I had a lot of businesses going here. I was part owner of a men's clothing store. I used to work for Slits, Slits Beer back in the days. Apartment complex. I used to work for a clothing company downtown. Me and Lee May, the singing Lee May. And I mean, everything was working as a unit because this is what I wanted to do. Favor again.
Favor again. Wow. So around that time, around the 60s, early 60s, what was going on in Houston? How was Houston?
Let me see, what was going on in Houston? The Astrodome was #1 and big. The ball club was big because of the situation that Roy Hallfines and Bob R.E. Smith put us in. Here we are, a young ball club trying to make it and trying to become a Major League franchise. Of course, they had the pick of the litter. They brought in old-timers. We had Bob Astromonte, Carl Warwick, Al Spangler, Hal Woodashek, those type of ball players. And they had young kids like myself and Joe Morgan, Sonny Jackson. And we all wanted to do good, but we couldn't do good because we didn't have that captain, so to speak, that brought us together as a team. And consequently, we just played our way and just played every day. and took the loss and the wins respectfully.
Let me ask you this. Where did the Colt 45, wasn't it Colt 45?
It was the Colt 45s first now. I believe they got the name from a Western. You know, Houston used to be what? A 45 a country, a Western city back in the days. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the reason why they call us the Colt 45s. But when the Dome was built in 1965, we moved in. It's a changing of the guard, so to speak, the space age. So they had to come up with a new name, the Astros.
And it stuck.
And it stuck.
So you got the Astrodome, you got the Astros, and you're here.
I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here for a very long time.
Somebody said to you one time, they said, we want you to be with the Astros for a very long time. I think Mr. Hallfine said that to you.
Yes, he did.
I don't think he knew you'd be there even to this day.
Well, he knew that I had the ability to be a good ball player. But it was just that special day. I think, I'm not going to mention it, but you're going to have to look, you're going to have to buy my book in order to see what's in it and what Hallfine did for me and what I did for myself.
Wow. When you were playing for the Astros, how many years did you play?
11 years. 11 years with the Astros, 2 years with the Dodgers, 1 year with Atlanta, and 1977 played with the Yankees and Milwaukee, and I retired after that.
Now, if I'm stepping on ground that I shouldn't step on, you tell me. And you don't have to answer, and I'm not worried about you. Because if you don't want to answer something, you're not going to answer anyway.
That's right.
So we cool. What are your stats?
Batting average 250, home runs 291, RBIs 900 and something. That's it. That's my stats. Proud of it.
You have done enough to be in the Hall of Fame. Why aren't you there?
That is a good question. Maybe I didn't have the right stats in order to become a Hall of Famer. You know, when back in the days, if you hit 300 home runs, you're automatically in the Hall of Fame. If you had 3,000 hits, you're automatically in the Hall of Fame. If a pitcher wins 20 plus games and they won 300 or they have 300 strikeouts or something, automatically in the Hall of Fame. But now I think the committee that they have now is not really baseball-minded people. And they have the last vote in who goes into the Hall of Fame. Now, if the ball players had their chance, had their choice, they would put ball players that they know that need to be in the Hall of Fame.
What does the Hall of Fame say?
It says that you're one of the best ball players in the country, in the land, and you be well respected. The ball players love that. And the things that you did not only for your ball club, but against their ball club, that is a Hall of Famer. And the way that you carry yourself.
So what's the ring you have on?
This is a 1974 Dodger National League Championship ring. The first ring that I won.
First?
First.
How many have you won?
One more, 1977 New York Yankees, World Series champions.
So, honestly, Jimmy, you've lived a life that few people have ever seen. Favor again. And you've lived a life that many blacks have never even fathomed.
That's true. I think the answer to your question is that blacks really don't want to play baseball. I think the reason why blacks really don't want to play baseball is because they don't want to go through the procedures. Like
what
baseball
are the
players.
procedures?
The procedures, if you're drafted, you got to go down to the minor leagues in order to prove yourself. Or not only prove yourself, but build up your skills, further, make your skills a lot better. And once you do that,
does it really make a difference when you go to the minor league?
It doesn't make no difference, but it makes a difference to a point where everything has to be on the up and up. You got people down in the minor league system that are willing to work with you. I mean, work with you to the point where your skills will definitely come out. It'll be a lot better as you move up from A to double A to triple A and then the major leagues. Once you get to the major leagues, you're there. But
how long does that take?
It takes a whole bunch of years.
Like how many years? What's a bunch?
Bunches like maybe 7, 5, anywhere between 5 years and 7
But
years.
it's not that they're not getting paid.
Oh, they get paid. They get paid. They get paid. Mucho
And they
money.
play.
They play. But it's a lot different playing in the minor leagues compared to playing in the major leagues. A lot different. Hotels, meal money, chartered flights. Whereas in the minor leagues, you have paid little, travel in buses or cars. Your hotels are not hotels, it's motels, and those kind of things. But being a major leaguer, you travel first class, charter flights. You have your own plane.
Mm-hmm.
People pick up your luggage. Your luggage is already there at the hotel, in your room, waiting on you. Better money, better paychecks, better cities. You got the best of everything. Hello.
Honestly.
Honestly.
It's still better than something else. It's still better. I mean, and I know it's not the best, and I know it's not glamorous, but it's still, I imagine someone playing baseball, and the reason I like baseball because you never lose your waistline. You don't find a whole lot of fat baseball players when they're out there. Their waistlines just...
Oh, the waistline is gorgeous. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about that twist. I like it. But it's still better.
To me, it's a better sport. A whole lot better because you don't get hurt as much as basketball players.
And the bottom line is, you want your body after the sports is over because it does not last forever.
Oh, yeah.
It would be your advice to what?
Play baseball. Play baseball. See the world. Make money. Enjoy yourself. And when you come out of when you retire from baseball, you still have all your faculties.
Baseball.
All of them. Baseball.
Consider baseball.
Consider baseball as the #1 sport in the country. Take it from me, Jimmy Wynn.
It's the #1 sport in the country.
In the country. In the world.